Please study the transmitter's functions and pause video now if needed. Prepare for flight. Remove the camera cover and insert the obstacle avoidance sensor. Obstacle avoidance is a nice safety feature, but just keep in mind you can always fly without it installed. Please always remember to remove the protective cover from the camera. If it's not removed before the drone is turned on, you can permanently damage the gimbal. Also, when choosing to use the obstacle avoider, always make sure it's either installed or removed when the drone is off. Otherwise, you'll damage the sensor. Lastly, never touch the camera gimbal or the obstacle avoidance sensor while the drone is on. To ensure proper connection between the remote and the drone, always remember to turn the remote on first before turning on the drone. So first, turn the remote on by sliding the side button on the remote. You'll notice it will say Mode 0 on the display. Next, turn the drone on by holding down the battery button until the drone beeps and lights begin to flash. You'll now notice Mode 0 has changed to Mode 1 on the remote's display. This next part shows how to calibrate your drone by using the remote control. However, we strongly suggest you use the HFun Pro app on your smartphone to calibrate instead because most find it easier. All GPS drones need to be calibrated properly before taking your first flight, but should only need to be calibrated again if it suffers a crash or you notice it not flying normal. Pay close attention to how the drone is being spun 3 times horizontally and then 3 times vertically. Pay close attention to how the drone was spun 3 times horizontally and now 3 times vertically. Now correct the gimbal by holding the speed button down on the remote for 5 seconds until you hear a beep. Lights will begin to flash quickly and then turn solid once it's done. Here's how to calibrate using the HFun Pro app like we suggest. For calibration, press Prepare to Fly, then press Calibration. After it says Calibration Success, you'll be brought to the next screen. Now click Calibration again, where you'll follow the on-screen prompts as shown. Notice how the drone is spun 3 times horizontally until you hear a beep, and then 3 times vertically until you hear another beep. You'll then be brought to the live video feed and you can start flying safely. Once calibration is complete, the drone will begin searching for GPS satellites on its own. Notice on the remote's display, the number of satellites keeps rising. Once you gain over 8 to 10 satellites, you'll enter GPS mode, which means the signal is now strong enough to take flight with GPS activated. Please be careful never to fly out of GPS mode, otherwise the return to home failsafes won't work. This is very important to ensure you never lose your drone. Go to your phone's Wi-Fi settings. Choose the network that starts with XL4K as shown here. Now exit that screen and open the HFun Pro app that you should have already downloaded from your phone's app store. If you don't have the HFun Pro app yet, that's fine. Just download it now before going any further. Use the phone holder on the remote and use the extenders if necessary. Aircraft unlocking. To unlock the aircraft and start the propellers, simply push the joysticks down and to the right or down and to the left. You can also unlock it within the app as shown here. Once motors are unlocked, propellers will spin until you attempt to take flight. If no flight attempt is made within 5 seconds, the motors will stop for safety reasons and to conserve battery. If this happens, just unlock the drone again. You can take flight within that 5-second frame. If you have over 8 satellites showing on your display, but you're still unable to take flight with the motors unlocked, don't worry. It just means that you didn't calibrate the drone correctly. So rewatch the calibration section of this video and follow the commands. Basic operation. 1 key takeoff. 1 key landing. Increase and decrease altitude. Turn left and right. Fly forwards, backwards, and to either side. Switch between high and low speed settings. Activate headless mode. Adjust the camera angle up and down using the trigger buttons located on the back side of the remote, or use the app as shown here. The highlighted triangle is the automatic takeoff key. If you try taking off without first unlocking the drone, it will remind you to do so. Press unlock and proceed to use the one-key takeoff. Using the new obstacle avoidance feature. Like all drones, obstacle avoidance works best in the slow speed setting. Once you crank the speed up, it will still alert you, but may not be able to stop in time to avoid a crash like it does in the slow speed setting. This is what you'll experience when approaching an object. To take a picture, press the camera icon on the remote or the app. To take a video, press the video button on the remote or the app. All photos and video will be instantly saved to your smartphone's photo album. Or if you have an SD card installed, they will be transferred there instead. You can also take photos and video without the remote by using simple hand gestures. When you're about 5 to 10 feet in front of the drone, hold up the peace sign and the drone will take a photo after a 3-second countdown. To record video, hold your hand up as shown here. To stop recording, give the same hand gesture. There are 8 to 10 different camera lens views you can switch from. Some options even incorporate your phone's camera. So for example, your phone's camera will capture the drone flying in the sky at the same exact time that your drone's camera is capturing footage. This is an incredible feature that allows you to capture multiple views simultaneously from different perspectives. You'll have a better understanding once you give it a try. Create videos within the app using MV Productions. Zoom in by pressing the magnifying glass seen here. This shows all the app controls. Pause video now to study it. You'll find this bar along the top of your screen within the app. Limitless 3 provides really great functions, but you have to be aware of which functions work in each mode. Mode 2 is GPS mode, and since it's the default mode, you'll likely use Mode 2 functions the most. Here's an example of if you were to try using a function in the wrong mode. It simply won't work. Functions used in Mode 2, which is GPS mode. To start, click the icon on top right, then click here. You'll choose your flight points and then click the arrow to send the instructions. Press the map to see the live feed. Here's another example. Surrounding flight. Click the circle icon seen here. Choose from circling in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction. Finally, press send. Make sure the drone's camera is pointing at the person or object you wish to film. You'll still have control over the drone's altitude and direction. To make the drone follow you in GPS mode, click here, then click here. An example can be seen here. To cancel, just press the icon again. To return home, click here. The following functions only work in Mode 1, but remember you need to be careful because the drone doesn't have GPS in Mode 1.